Now, a paramedic begged police to clear Just Stop Oil protesters off the road on Waterloo Bridge yesterday so he could attend a life or death emergency. The blue light ambulance was trapped in gridlocked traffic as activists from the group blocked the road with a slow march protest.
Yeah, police made more than 40 arrests under the Public Order Act, and one furious bystander even took it upon himself to yell at the protesters.
Very good job. Good stuff, a bit of oil. Protest in the right place. This is what... Yeah, I don't think it's okay because they're not doing it in the right way. Go to Saudi Arabia and complain. Go to Saudi Arabia and complain. You're very clever. Saudi Arabia will welcome you, right?
Just Stop Oil has said it's always been their policy to immediately move out of the way for emergency vehicles with blue lights on, and claims that the activists never blocked the side of the road the ambulance was on. Well,
with us in the studio is Dr Patrick Hart, who's a doctor and a spokesperson for Just Stop Oil. Last time we met, and thank you for coming back into the studio, I asked you about this in particular and said, you know, would it not concern you as a GP when you're blocking roads? There's a possibility, if not even a probability, one could argue that could encumber emergency service vehicles getting to where they need to be, and that's exactly what we've seen happen. Have you changed your mind on this after yesterday's events?
So I want to say to you that it has always really concerned me, and it does really concern me. As you said, I'm a doctor, my business is healthcare. The idea of stopping or slowing down an ambulance getting to hospital in emergency makes me sick to the pit of my stomach. I was on the bridge, opposite that chap you saw just then, watching the whole thing. If you'd like me to, I can tell you what happened. There were Just Stop Oil supporters marching from the south side in the northbound lane in a north direction. Police blocked both ends of the bridge and then later let through some traffic with that ambulance car. It was a car with one driver, and the ambulance cars aren't used to transport patients, it was just a driver, going the opposite way. At no point were there Just Stop Oil supporters in the road in the southbound direction.
Whether you were one side of the road or the other, the fact that you were there made that ambulance not be able to get where it needed to go, and it was an emergency service call. At the end of the day, if you weren't there, that wouldn't have happened.
So no. So this is the fundamental problem, right? What you're asking me is, in effect, are you someone who would sit down in front of an ambulance and stop it getting to where it needs to go in an emergency? The answer is absolutely no way, OK? But there are things in London every day that slow down and stop ambulances. So once a year, there's this huge disruption in London. They call it the London Marathon. They shut 26 miles of road for the best part of a day, all right? Even though that's planned, there's a really great study which shows that if you live near the marathon route and you have a heart attack on that day, you are 13% more likely to die.
But that doesn't
because ambulances slow down.
No,
my point is...
It doesn't justify your demonstrations, does it?
No, my point is you don't bring the London Marathon organisers and say, justify yourself. Yeah. All the things that happen in London...
I don't think there's any equivalence.
There absolutely is.
I get you.
There's all sorts prepare and plan for that. They know that there are different routes.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't make any difference. People are still more likely to die on marathon day. But I'm a runner. I think running is great. The London Marathon, great. I'm not criticising them. A wonderful thing. The point remains, there are all sorts of things that can slow down ambulances. You never ask them to justify themselves, only us. And the reason for that is...
Because you don't need to be doing it.
No, the reason for that is our message is terrifying. The London Marathon's message is, let's have a good time, raise some money. Everyone agrees with that. Our message is terrifying.
No, it's not that.
Our message is, if we drill for more oil and gas, we are locking in the deaths of human beings.
And sod that person in the back of the ambulance,
let me finish. We are locking in the deaths of a vast number of human beings in Britain, across the world, OK? If you don't like that message, the tendency is to say, well, these people must be awful. They must be terrible people. Am I a terrible person?
I don't think you're terrible people at all. I think you're well-intentioned. I just think you're going about your business in the wrong way. There's no real equivalence in big events that close roads down. You don't need to be doing this. I'm just suggesting, go and throw some soup at works of art if you must. Do not block traffic, because in that traffic will be emergency vehicles.
Also,
so how about a new MO? How about that?
I was here 2-3 days ago with you having a go at me for someone doing something in the work of art. So I'm not quite sure what you want us to do.
Well,
the point remains.
Well, I'd rather you did that than stopped ambulances.
There are marches happening all the time because there is an awful lot to be angry about right now, OK? People are angry. There is so many things in the world which are making people deeply distressed, and they are marching about them. But we are the only ones where you ever say this, OK?
No, but that's not true. That's absolutely not true. Most of our show today has been talking about the pro-Palestinian marches.
Yeah,
but I think what we're trying to ask you, what we're trying to...
that will slow down
we've invited them on the programme on multiple occasions.
Well, please ask them a question.
Very good question. Well, no, look, I'm not a fan of a lot of it,
The King's Coronation, they shut lots of roads. Ambulance would have been slowed down. It is a fact. It would have happened. But we accept it because it's normal. Just Stop Oil are breaking through what's normal because it's an emergency.
But you're stopping ambulances. It's not an emergency. No, it's...
I am desperate. I do not want to be here. I want to be just doing my job.
It's not an emergency, Patrick.
I'm here.
It's not an emergency.
I'm here because we are in a life and death and emergency.
You people are hysterical. You have a kind of insane level of certitude about your campaign.
I tell you what.
Did you ever contemplate you might just be wrong? My standpoint is you might be right. I think I'm right. But you might be right. You don't even concede that I could be right.
My standpoint is
you have insane levels of certitude.
My standpoint is I wish every day I am wrong. I would love to be wrong. If I could wake up tomorrow and all of this wasn't true, I would come here and say, I feel like a right lemon. Sorry, I can't believe I was saying all that. But the fact is, we have overwhelming evidence that what a few rich people who own fossil fuel companies are doing is going to kill a massive number of people.
I say you're wrong. I say you're wrong.
I have to face living my whole life knowing that is something
that's your belief. I say you're wrong.
It's not a belief.
I say you're wrong.
It's science.
I say you're wrong. No. Don't cite the
cannot
science.
stand by and watch that happen. I have very strong values. I believe very strongly that people
right and everybody else is wrong.
People deserve to be safe. And what I am doing is trying to make sure that my friends' kids that haven't even been born, have a chance
if it was
of a
my
safe
relative
future.
who desperately needed that ambulance, I'd be utterly heartbroken and disgusted at your actions. It also seems to be rather counterintuitive if you want less CO2 in the atmosphere to slow down traffic.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
If you don't want people to hate you,
create traffic jams
create a new method of demonstrating. The way you go about it makes people hate you and is counterproductive to your cause. You would have to accept that. It just is, Patrick. It just is. Look, by all means, I respect your convictions, all of you. You're decent people who believe you're doing the right thing. However, you just got to change the way you go about it. You really do. You can't stop ambulances and fire engines. It's a really bad thing to do, and it's counterproductive to what you're trying to achieve.
Just Stop Oil, you said that we're making people hate us.
Yes, you are.
There are 17% of the country who approve of Just Stop Oil.
17?
17. That is 3% more than the number of people who approve of the current government.
But it seems to me that means 83%
don't
approve.
83%.
Yeah. So that's not
what I mean? We're not getting anywhere.
But we're 3% more popular than the current government.
They're not hard to beat right now, if I'm honest with you.
You're setting the bar low there.
We're the second most unpopular.
I really do appreciate
setting the bar very low there.
I really appreciate you coming back into the studio.
Patrick.
It's very good of you to do that. Thank you ever so much.